surprised now. Look at my eyes now, it's your demise now. Wake up, you're dead.
Juggalos and Juggalettes, your big homie Big Ian coming at you again with another strange music interview with the one and only Hitchcock of hip hop, Prozak.
What up, y'all?
Prozak, I got a lot of stuff that I want to talk to you about today. I know a lot of my interviews have been running long, so I'm going to try to keep things moving along here. I got a lot to ask you.
For sure.
One of the first things I want to ask you are, with the release of Paranormal, it was your first album that you had released kind of after a long break of, album releases. Yeah. And one of the things, Paranormal was an amazing album. It was such a great return of the Hitchcock of hip hop. And one of the things that crossed my mind upon hearing it was, because of the long pause between your previous two releases, do you think that we'll be able to hear you or see you releasing music at a little bit more of an accelerated rate, at least for a little while, because of the long break between those first two albums?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I re-signed with Strange, it's like I got multiple albums to deliver. Mm-hmm. So I would say at least every calendar year, you'll see a record for multiple years,
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and as you said, you brought up you had just re-signed with Strange Music.
Yeah.
Is this a situation where they've got you down for multiple albums coming out, like you said, every calendar year?
Yeah.
So have you already started laying out and making plans for what your next one might be?
To be honest with you, when I tour, I don't write music. I don't write any lyrics. I don't write any songs because, the way we tour is hardcore. You know what I'm saying? I'm a nocturnal motherfucker. So, I get up earlier than I typically would for the meet and greet. And then after the meet and greet, there's no sense of trying to crash back out because you only got a little bit of time. You got sound checks and then you got the performance and then I go out and grind all night and meet everybody. So it's I sleep 3 or 4 hours a day max. And I just try to take all of my focus and put it into the tour.
Gotcha.
The only thing I have been doing is Michael Seven Summers has been sending me beats, and I've been choosing some music, but that's about it. You know what I mean?
Okay. Now, one of the things that relating to future releases from you, in my first interview with you back in 2010, it was kind of in between the releases of Tales from the Sick and Paranormal. We were discussing, we were discussing.
Somebody got murdered in that.
Somebody just died.
I think that was Elvis, actually. Elvis just said some shit.
We were in that interview. We were talking about when we would be able to see another release, what it would be like, et cetera, et cetera. And in that interview, you said that you had already, at that point in 2010, recorded enough music to make 2 Tales from the Six. In other words, you had 2 albums worth of material ready to release. So two questions leading off that are, on Paranormal, how much of the music on Paranormal was stuff that you had recorded, months, years previous, or stuff that you had kind of done more recently for that album specifically? Was it a mix of stuff? Was it all stuff that you had recorded over the years since Tales from the Sick?
It was slightly a mix, but it's predominantly all new shit.
Okay.
I think really the only track on there that was a few years old was Full Moon.
Okay.
But I mean, there's an album out there, the Hitchcock of hip hop. There's a 17-track album that exists. I don't know if and when that will come out.
Okay.
But that's somewhere else. Paranormal has nothing to do with that record. You know what I'm saying? So I recorded the Hitchcock of hip hop, and then I did about 27 songs, 28 songs after that. And out of those tracks, I chose Paranormal.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's a lot of tracks out there, that people haven't heard yet.
Okay, and so with all the new releases from you coming, like you said, probably going to be dropping one every calendar year.
Yeah.
Do you think that we'll gradually see kind of some of this old stuff that you still like and think is strong? Do you think we'll see that kind of mixed in with these new releases, or are you going to sit on it for a while? You
probably not.
Going to sit in the vault?
I'm just going to start fresh. The new album, the album after Paranormal, I'm just going to start fresh. You know what I mean? All new tracks, all new beats, all new writing, and just take it from there. You know what I'm saying? There's, with every phase, you change to some degree. You know what I mean? You always stay who you are.
Absolutely.
But you have different things you want to get out there. Every time I tour, to me, that's one of the biggest inspirations touring. You know what I mean? Because I go out, how I am. I go out in the crowd every day. You know what I'm saying? And I meet everybody. I talk to everybody. I shake a few hundred hands. I hear opinions. This is my favorite track by you. And people tell you all kinds of shit. I get people that come up to me and say, I love these tracks, but I hate when you do these type of tracks. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I hear every opinion in the world, and you know, some stuff inspires me, some doesn't. You know what I mean? But either way, just touring inspires me to, you know, to think different things. And right now, there's a lot of stuff that my brain is opening up to for this current time frame. So I'm eager to write, you know, what's in my head right now.
I gotcha. Okay, now one of the things that I know is just really buzzing, especially in like the Juggalo underground, is the news and the hope for the group, the Donner Party, coming together. And I know that like it was originally announced in 2010 when you and Lynch were on the Strange Days tour. That was the interview that I did with you that I referenced earlier. And now in the last couple months there have been several Strange Music blog posts about it, about it possibly coming together. I believe you mentioned at one point that it's if fans request it enough, it'll happen. Yeah. And then there was also buzz about you guys actually coming together for an EP. And so what I want to know is, like, have there been any like firm developments, decisions, conversations made about this project, about this album, to when we might be able to see something start coming together?
Not really, to be real with you. Like, me and Brother Lynch, like, we've talked a few times. Mm-hmm. About it, in depth. There was a point before the tour that we talked on the phone for a long time, and like, it's kind of like, just to be real about it. Like, Lynch is in California, I'm in Michigan. Lynch has, a career. I have a career. It's, like, where does that time come into where it's like we both at the same time have the time to write an album, record it. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it could definitely happen, mm-hmm. but a few things have to just line up for it to work out. You know what I'm saying? So, I think it would be crazy if we did it. You know what I mean? Like, I'd like to do it. I know he'd like to do it. Strange, I really think would be behind it. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll see. Right now I'm looking forward to hearing, Lynch's new record. Because I know he's taking his time with it. It's going to be, a dark masterpiece. And,
yeah.
So maybe after that, you know what I mean, he'll have that time, in between after his new record and then before my new record comes out. Maybe we'll find that.
Because Mandible Lecter is like the rounding out of his trilogy of the Coat Hanger Strangler series or whatever, so that would be, or speculation aside, but I know it's a project that I would love to see come together. I know a lot of people have been talking about it and asking about it. Do you think so? So as of this point, the Donner Party is still alive. There's a chance that it will come together in the future.
I think it definitely will. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just the right things have to happen. You know what I'm saying? But there's also some stuff developing too, to where I think in the future here, shortly, where I think it can help the Donner Party become a reality. You know what I'm saying? But I mean that is information will come later. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Now, a quick follow-up question just to clarify about the Donner Party. Originally, back in 2010 when it was announced, it was you, Brother Lynch Hung, and his brother, C-Lim. Is there been any, is C-Lim still going to be a part of the group? Because I haven't seen or heard him doing much with Strange Music since the Strange Days tour.
To be honest, I'm not 100% sure, what it'll be when it does happen.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But we'll figure it out, you know what I mean?
All right. Okay, sounds good. Now, another thing I know, again, in the Juggalo portion of the underground, something that people always buzz about when you come up, is the possibility of there being a new album under Project Deadman with you and Mikey Clark.
Yeah.
And I believe that there was an article a couple weeks ago that kind of touched on, like, hey, this new Project Deadman may be on the way. Can you elaborate a little bit to, say where you're at with that project, if you and Mike have compared notes on anything with that?
I hate to sound like repetitive because it's going to sound like the same thing I just said about the Donner Party, but it's kind of the same way. Like me and Mike Clark talk all the time, mm-hmm. but Mike Clark is busy with Psychopathic. He's also busy with Kid Rock, and I'm busy doing this. So it's like, it's hard, you know what I'm saying, for him to be able to do it. Like Strange Music a few times, just verbally, you know what I mean, was, ready to roll. Like, okay, cool, this is kind of the terms, and this is kind of what we see, and this would be the release date. And we came really close to, on paper doing another PDM record, but something always happens because, everyone's busy with shit, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm pretty sure me and Mike are gonna do something. Like, I always tell Mike, like, if anything, let's just do an EP.
Sure.
And put it on iTunes, just because, and it's, and it's for nothing more than, I get asked about PDM all the time.
Yeah.
Not by a lot of people, but by a few people at every show. So either way, there is the underground cats that want to hear more, and I'd like them to hear more one day, even if it's just iTunes.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Prozak, I think that's all the questions I got for you right now. Is there anything else you'd like to say to all the fans listening to this right now?
Elvis is still alive.
All right. Juggalos, Juggalettes has been Prozak and Big Ian.
Sure.
We're out.
Just look at you, I see you staring on green with envy. You wishing upon a star, hoping that one day you can end me, bitch. Look deep into my eyes, you don't know truth from lies, and it comes as no surprise, I'm not the kind to empathize.